Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Mysteries surround Harris's shooting. Did Xander get framed by dirty Officer Goldman? Rumors and spoilers for Days of Our Lives hint to the mysteries behind Harris Michaels' shooting. Did shady Officer Goldman assist in setting up Xander Cook as the shooter of Harris? Harris Michaels recognized his assailant. Without a doubt, Harris recognized his assailant since, after turning to face them and saying, "Oh, it's you," he was shot in the chest by a few close-range rounds. One may assume the shooter was someone around Xander's height based on the angle at which he was staring at him, but if Goldman had been farther away, it would have appeared the same. She could have used a voice-disguising app during the call and perused police records to learn more about Xander's background in order to frame him for the crime. James Reed's character Clyde Weston had the opportunity to speak with Xander a few days prior to the shooting and provide Goldman with all the information she required to frame him. Prior to his imprisonment, Stephen DiMera was the only person Xander told about receiving a call offering to hire him for a kill job. After Stephen denied doing it, Xander began to suspect the caller might be E.J. DiMera because he was aware of his past. Xander had never informed the person he would accept the job. Harris was shot and ambushed behind the bistro a few days later. That evening, he went for a run and left his phone at home. Later, a message from the blocked number inquired as to if it had been completed. Goldman brought in the burner phone that proved out to be the one from which Xander was phoned when the police discovered it close to the gunshot scene. The phrase motive means an opportunity is typically applied to criminals, but it can also apply to dirty cops like Goldman, whose motivation would be to work for Clyde. She would have access to Xander's flat to conduct the search and hide the pistol there, but someone else had also brought up Xander's past. Constantine Melianis brought up the night he, Sarah Horton, and the infant had supper with Maggie Kyriakis, Suzanne Rogers. However, Constantine might have brought it up for a different purpose than hiring him to kill someone. He has to keep the fact that Xander is Victor Kyriakis' heir a secret. It seems suspect, though, how many more people are entangled in Clyde's web of deceit. The Horton house is warmly remembered by the people of Salem. A young Tom and Alice Horton were seen getting ready for a picnic in the park in Salem around 1930. Across the street, Alice highlighted a new house development under construction. Alice continued by saying that she had been experimenting with a donut recipe. Tom and Alice looked into each other's eyes and expressed their love for one another. "Here's to our first year of marriage," exclaimed Tom. Alice added, "and all the years to come," as she and Tom kissed after making a toast. Leo was taken aback when Chad and Thomas went into the spectator office to look for a toy that belonged to Thomas. Leo told Chad in a whisper that Thomas had experienced too much loss for his age. Leo inquired about Chad's health and said that Thomas and Charlotte were fortunate to have Chad as a father. When Chad said he was to blame for the fire, Leo was shocked. Chad thought the fire had started because he had chosen to publicize the information about Clyde's connections to the drug cartel in Salem. Leo made an effort to persuade Chad that he was merely carrying out his duties as a newspaper publisher. Chad felt guilty about disappointing his family. Leo encouraged Chad to quit blaming himself and promised that he would walk through fire for Thomas and Charlotte. When Thomas came back, Chad thanked Leo. "Thomas seemed to have a loose tooth," Leo said, and he grabbed for his wallet to give him $5. When Thomas suggested that Leo give him $50, they had a nice conversation. Thomas asked to go with Chad to the Horton residence when Chad indicated it was time to drop him off at school. Leo inquired as to Chad's opinion on Leo's welcome at the residence. Leo continued by saying he was interested in finding out more about the house's past. Thomas gave Leo his word that he would be well received. Together, Chad, Thomas, and Leo departed. John, Marlena, and Roman and Kate gathered in the Brady pub, and the four of them got ready to go to the Horton house. Marlena explained that as a sign of hope, she and John had made the decision to deliver a box of Alice's donuts. Roman pointed out that the house had almost burned down in 1986 when John claimed that the fire was the result of arson. Right next door to our apartment, Orpheus had set a bomb. John remembered, "We caught it just as the sparks and embers were shooting over the Horton roof." John mentioned that in 1986, Abe had visited the Horton residence alongside John, Alice, Marlena, and Tom. John and Marlena revealed that they had asked Abe to come along, but he had turned them down since Paulina had had a heart attack the night before. Roman remembered that he had known Abe for a long time. Roman told the tale of how, as a young boy, he had broken a lamp at the Horton home. Roman remembered that Alice had mentioned that material possessions may be replaced at any time. Tom was waiting in the park in Salem in the spring of 1931 for an obviously pregnant Alice when he looked at a pocket watch. Tom prayed he could get the couple out of their one-bedroom apartment before their baby was born, as he and Alice enjoyed another picnic. Tom promised himself that he and Alice would eventually move into a larger house. It's unfortunate that they have to halt all of that fresh progress. But with the amount of suffering in our nation, I constantly have to remind myself how fortunate we are, Alice remarked. Very lucky, Tom concurred. After gaining weight during her pregnancy, Alice was concerned that she appeared unattractive. Tom said to Alice that her beauty had increased. Doug, Julie, and Maggie stood in the middle of what had been the Horton home's living room, surrounded by the charred remnants. "Oh, God, no," Julie exclaimed, gazing about with a painful resignation. Maggie responded, "I have no words," her voice growing eloquent. "No words. However, we still have one another." Doug shook hands with Julie and Maggie and exclaimed, "Thank God." When a man dressed as a firefighter showed there, he assured Doug, Julie, and Maggie that they could stay at the house. When Julie and Maggie found a chair that had survived the fire, they were amazed. They observed that there didn't seem to be any marks on the chair. Through a mask and helmet that covered his face, the firefighter stated it was originally Tom Horton's chair, but he left it to Alice. How had the man in the firefighter's costume found out about the chair, Julie wondered. After taking off his mask, the man identified himself as Lucas. Lucas explained that he had gone to assist since he was homesick. Lucas remembered how the family had greeted him with such warmth when he initially discovered he was a Horton. Lucas expressed to Doug, Julie, and Maggie how much he still valued his status as a Horton. According to Julie, the family's love was symbolized by the house. Lucas revealed that he had been released from Statesville under unusual circumstances and that if certain people found out where he was, it would endanger his life. Julie vowed to keep Maggie and herself silent regarding Lucas's whereabouts. Lucas left the room to get dressed. Maggie questioned Julie about how the chair got out of the flames. Julie questioned whether Tom and Alice had been keeping an eye on the chair. Julie remembered an earlier chat she'd had with Alice. Julie joked in the flashback that she knew she had caused Tom and Alice a lot of problems when she was a child. Julie, according to Alice, had a rebellious side. As for Julie's response, well, people mellowed with age. Julie grinned as the reminiscence came to a close. At that moment, a box of Alice's donuts was brought in by Roman and Kate. The chair had survived the fire, much to Roman and Kate's amazement. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't miss any updates.